Hey guys, thanks for checking out today's podcast where we sit in the dark, have conversations, and get super personal. I am your host, Blake Hardison, and man, I have a really exciting podcast for you guys today. Good friend of mine who used to cut my hair. People would actually like to say that we're kind of somewhat twins, covered in tattoos. If you ask me, a very successful barber, and I would just say entrepreneur, I have Sean Ralston.
What's going on?
Man, it's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Been a little while. When did you cut your hair last?
Bro, when did I cut
You got
my
it
hair
trimmed,
last?
but
I got it trimmed, yeah, but that
not
doesn't
often.
count.
Yeah, like when did I cut it last? I bet I can look at the app and see the
It's
day.
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a year at least.
I stopped getting my hair cut, I think, November of 2018.
Okay, so almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Yeah. And I mean, you were the only person that cut it.
Until you go over there with braids. I do like the braids.
Man, thanks, man. My homegirl, April, shout out April. She likes to give me the crispiest braids, and I wanted to get the ASAP Rocky braids. Yeah. You know, so I had to throw them in the bun, kind of look like Lord Pretty Flacco.
Believe it or not, I've had cornrows before.
For real?
Well, I had cornrows. I had dreads before. I've done a little of everything.
Like, I love it. I love having my hair braided. It's just a lot. Definitely takes a lot to keep it maintained.
Yep.
Doesn't help that my hairline's thinning.
That's why I haven't done anything like that in a while. I need that front to cover it up.
Bro.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks, but it's just hair.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it.
Yep.
Like, that shit will happen. So what have you been up to, man?
Yeah, so just trying to progress. I just kind of I met some people. I had kind of maxed out where I was at. You know, like I left headquarters because I maxed out where I was at there. And then Klutch grew so much, I kind of maxed out there that, you know, we were full. I just kind of was rolling with how it was. And I met some guys from Tampa that own a company and all do different things, have their own products, do YouTube, different things like that. And it was the perfect people for me to start to inspire me beyond what I already had got to. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I've just kind of, all these things I was always interested in, having my own product or doing YouTube. And I always wanted to teach, but I wasn't able to teach in Kentucky. So once I started to spend some time around them and see follow them, I already followed them on social media, but more interactive than I had been before. You know, they would respond to, you know, my stories, or we would chat back and forth. And I just started to get inspired by these guys to finally do all these things that I wanted to do. So yeah, now I'm doing YouTube. I have my own product that I sell for barbers, and it's all going up fast.
Bro, that's a lot different from when we last hung out. Even
definitely from then.
Yeah, like that was like you were just cutting hair. You were stupid fucking busy, but you were just cutting hair. You know, you had your like side things that you were working on, but like kind of like filling chairs. You know, Klutch had been open for a little while. Also, for the people that don't know, Sean is the main barber at Klutch and owner. And if you ask me, and obviously Owensboro Times, best barbershop in town.
Absolutely.
You know, that's not a hate on any other barbershops in town. You know, people are talented in different places. However, if you ask me, I think that Klutch and Sean are some of the most talented hands in the game. At least in Owensboro, for sure.
For sure. And I just think, you know, like you said, you know, there's talent everywhere. One thing I learned is not every client is for me or for our shop. You know, there's people that, you know, their type of place is down the street, and that's why there's options in everything you do. But we really did strive to like learn more and give a better experience overall, more time. You know, it is a different thing. So if you're in a hurry, it might not be for you. You know, to each his own. But we just wanted to offer as good as we could give, as good of a haircut or as good of a service overall for a good price. And, you know, it's a different thing than you can get anywhere else. If you just look at the haircut, you know, anybody can get a haircut. You can go to Walmart, get a haircut. Your buddy can do it. You can cut your own in quarantine. Those are all haircuts.
Yeah.
You know, which one do you want? So, you know, we have a lot of people that want what we sell. So that has been kind of what has done so well for us.
And I mean, kind of touching base on what you said, you're kind of like getting just the experience of Klutch. Like
Yeah,
I would like
that's
to,
over half of it.
I would like to say that like I've been like when Klutch opened, like I was one of the few people that like started going there like as soon as it opened. I was going to headquarters. I think that's where we had met.
Yeah.
Kind of. You come out here once, but I knew Evan. That's who I was going to, and then you opened your own shop, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like how Sean come out here, so I'm gonna go check it out. And then from there on out, like we just became friends. You come out here, like you did a lot of solids for me. That's for sure.
I feel like I specifically remember you multiple times the first few visits or whatever, just saying like the vibe and the experience was like, yeah, man, this is it. I dig this. Like I'm definitely coming back. Like,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that's what we were trying to give off. So
Oh yeah, like you were trying to get like at that time, like the pump and the fade were like super big. Like the main haircuts.
oh yeah,
And
that's how I built my name
oh, of
as far
course.
as a barber.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
if you wanted that cut. I mean, I remember people coming in that I wanted this haircut. My friend has it, and he said you were the guy that could do it best. So yeah, that haircut got me so busy.
Would you say that's kind of like what made you into like who you are now, at least like barber was,
I mean,
or helped on your progress? I would
yeah, I
say.
mean progress for sure. You have to change with the trends that are coming and going, and I mean just in a funny way, like you grew your hair out. Well, I can still trim it for you.
Yeah.
Or back in the day, barbers couldn't do that, so you have to stay, current with the trends. So me being on social media, and that's really how my shop came about. But even if we talk about at headquarters, me being on social media more than headquarters didn't have an Instagram or a Facebook. And that's something I started for them. I just saw the importance of that. And so seeing that and knowing what haircut was about to be popular,
Mm-hmm.
more so than anybody else. No, I'm not saying I'm the only person that did, but definitely forefront of like doing those haircuts and doing them well. And like I said, the next thing you know, I mean, you guys know that haircut is like everybody had it at that point. Like
And
if you
people
didn't,
still get
if
it.
you yeah, if you didn't have a hard part, would it come to the side in some type of way? I mean, everybody had that haircut.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I just tried to be the best. That's what everybody wanted. Same with designs. I was somebody that could do designs, and not many people could. So that kind of became a thing, and people wanted that. So I offered that, and it got me doing way more designs than I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. You got to sell what you got to take care of what the customers are asking for. So
And then in the mindset that you are, which is one of the main reasons I enjoy our friendship, and then also bringing you on, is that like if you're gonna do it, you might as well be the best damn person that can do it.
absolutely,
You know, or at least that mindset. Not better than somebody, but the best that you can
yeah,
be.
do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I was definitely raised with that. If you're gonna do something, do it to the best of your ability, or just don't don't even attempt it. And I can kind of say I don't do that. We were talking about something earlier, I think, and I was just thinking about when I go after a task, I probably only do things that I know I can probably do.
Yeah.
So it looks like I don't miss very often, but it's more of like a calculated. I'm not going to go over here and try to learn how to. I'm not going to try to write a poem, right? Like,
Yeah.
like that's your thing, right? I know I'm not going to do that well, so you're
And
not going to
I'm
see
not gonna
me.
give a haircut like
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
not.
So I just kind of I know what I'm good at. I try to use my strengths and go after those things, and yeah, do it as good as you can, and you'll succeed at it.
And like I said, I mean, I've gotten countless haircuts from you. I've given you, probably $1,000 over dollars, which is very well spent.
Yeah.
But and I mean, fucking clean. Like it's always precise, very clean. I remember like I was going to Murray, bro, and like I didn't have anybody down there, and I was like, I'm going back to Owensboro. And
I
Sean's
remember
giving
that
me a
now.
haircut,
I do
bro.
remember that.
Like I was coming home 2.5 hours just to get a haircut. Like if that doesn't tell you something, like come on now.
Yeah, that's the cool part of being a barber. I just did a video on a guy that goes to UK and talked about that. I do YouTube to teach beginners different things, and that was one of my things. Was like, look, this guy drives pretty much 3 hours. Not only did he wait like 4 months to get a haircut,
Yeah.
like it looks crazy, but then he drove 3 hours, or he waited until he would be in Owensboro to come let me cut it. And, that speaks on earlier. You said the experience or the rest of it is almost more important than the haircut, and that's just proof right there.
Yeah. And with the thing about Klutch is, and like I'm not gonna lie, I came in there just to hang out.
Yep.
Just because I know most of the people that works there. The atmosphere and everything is super dope. You got Markel, you got Jay Dant, you got Marcus. I don't know JT.
You probably don't know half of them now.
Yeah, now
We've
but
added
like,
so many.
But that's the thing is I haven't been there in a year, but just knowing those types of people, and just like knowing exactly what you're going to get with that. That's like probably one of the best things about it, is that personalization. Then you have, different people of different ages too.
Yeah, that was part of building that. Was I wanted the guys to come in and be themselves. I felt pretty strongly that part of my success was just that I really found my place and was comfortable and was, people were having a good experience. And so I wanted my guys to come in and feel the same. I didn't want them to dress a certain way and like not be comfortable in that regard, or not be able to, I wanted them all to hang their stuff up on the wall so that, Jamie's a Titans fan. Well, now there's Titans stuff on the wall. Well, what does that do when a client comes in that you've never met?
Yeah.
It gives you an end to a topic of conversation. Same as if you walk in with a shirt from a team, or, you probably wore a volleyball shirt and I said, did you play, or I'm a coach, so that type of thing, I really wanted them all. And that's what allowed me to be so successful, was being able to be myself.
Yeah.
And you're going to perform at your best when you can be comfortable and be yourself. So, yeah, all my guys are different ages, different skin colors, different, we all grew up different, but we all get along. And the clients, same way. You can come in, you can be anybody and come in and still sit and fit in and have a good time while you're in there.
And I mean, I can attest to that. Like I said, I've seen countless of different demographics, coming into that shop, kids that are 4 to 5. And then you have I've seen some old men in there,
Absolutely.
Just cutting up, having a great time.
Those are the ones that surprise me. And I really enjoy it even more so than anybody else, because unfortunately a lot of, I hope I don't offend anybody with this statement, but a lot of judgment usually comes from the older generation. We're a lot more accepting. People like me and you covered with tattoos.
Sure.
If I'm speaking more of kind of strictly to that. But that tells me that the experience and the haircut, and it's worth it to them to come there, when I wouldn't think that they would rather, I think there's a place they feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
But I do a good enough job of being myself, portraying, being a professional, giving them a good service. And I think, that's what sells it. So we get every type of client, like you said, old, male, female, kids, everybody's in there.
Oh, absolutely. And we were actually talking about my homie Derek, who is actually, going to barber school himself. And, just from my experiences of sitting with you, sitting with the guys, just getting my hair cut, because I've been cut by a couple of the other guys that are actually in the shop as well. It's not just you.
Yeah.
I would just, sit there and hang out with the guys, get to who they were, know who they were if I didn't already know them. And, I try to, we were just talking about that, me and Derek were. I think we were at Walmart on Sunday. It was his kid's birthday party. And, we were just talking about, the personal relationship. When somebody comes in, we were talking about people walking around the store with AirPods. That's what it was. And I was like, I don't understand how, people, walk around the grocery stores with, headphones in or something like that. And he said that people cut hair with headphones in.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wouldn't want to do that. And I was like, you shouldn't want to do that, because, when I go to get my hair cut, I want to go and have a conversation with the guy that's cutting my hair, because that's the experience that I'm having, especially when I've had it with you and the guys at the shop as well.
Yeah, that's the difference. Not only is, our service is longer for that reason, really, part so we can do a better job, but really so you can sit down for a minute and, just enjoy being in there for a minute. If you really, the clients, I feel like they really have the best time, kind of like you, really sit in there and they kind of get to know everybody, and it becomes this, we're all a family, all of us. We're cutting up with each other. We're talking about what Markel ate last night, and he was sick on,
bragging
it's
on
normal.
each other
Yeah,
too, bro. I've heard that countless times.
It's normal stuff, and so you become a part of the family. And you start, you just know how everybody is, and it's a fun. There's sometimes in there. It's just so much fun. Just everybody going. 9 different chairs of people all chiming in, and all 9 of us. That gets crazy.
Bro, 9 chairs. That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
you started
9.
out with you.
Just
you
me.
had people that you were waiting to finish school, but just you, bro.
Yeah, just me for 3 weeks, and then Jamin came in for 3 weeks, and then Marcus started. And then it was just the 3 of us for a few months. And really what's funny, we feel like we've always been busy, but that was kind of that was the last time that we sat around like twiddling thumbs, like, all right,
Yeah.
is this gonna work? Like that time frame from until the next two guys came, and that was like the first Christmas season. And then we just kind of, I think we got a big enough team. We just kind of went after it, and we really got busy. And then after that, I've been having to add really to keep up with the demand.
So now, like I said, it's been a while since I've been there. Now, does everybody at the shop now have Booksy?
Yeah, so we're totally on appointments, and we will do walk-ins, and this is a constant struggle for us. Is I was the first one to do appointments. You came the first month we opened, probably about September, so that was July. Probably about September, I was so full that, there were so many people waiting. They were tired of waiting. I was staying 2 hours late some nights. We closed at 7. I was there till 9:30 sometimes. I was like, okay, I got to manage this better. Like, I can't work like this. And so we started doing appointments. First person in town to do appointments as far as barbers go. And so I started using the app, and then really quickly, a lot of people wanted appointments, and I got full. So we added one more guy. Well, then really quickly, he got full. So it really turned into all 5 of us doing appointments and then being full most of the time.
Yeah.
So really what happened, and every time we added a chair, it just keeps catching up. We'll add somebody, we'll get some walk-ins for a minute. Next thing you know, he's booked full. Now we still are turning people away.
Well, then you have those people that were walk-ins. So like, oh, I like the way, JT cut my hair, or, J Dant cut my hair. Like, I want to book with him from now on. And then you have those people telling their friends, hey, I like your haircut, man. Like, where'd you get it? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Klutch got it. Oh, I need to go down there. And they try to walk in. They're like, no. Like, you need an appointment.
Yeah, and we did pretty well at getting everybody on appointments. It was kind of, at one point we said, listen, you may not like it, but this is how we got to do it. So if you want to get in, you got to book an appointment. And you can walk in and I'll say, I got 4 o'clock open, and you can come back at 4 o'clock. But like, you're not, like, you better get lucky that day if you walk in and we actually have somebody sitting, waiting, ready.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we were.
Especially now? Is that what you're
saying?
Well,
that was even like a while back.
Like,
that was like when we had 5 or 6 probably. And so we went to totally appointments. I put a big red sign hanging from the building, like 15 feet long. Yeah. And next thing you know, man, we're still getting walk-ins. People are mad. That's a part of a haircut people expect. That's just kind of the way it's always been.
Especially in this town.
Every other shop is like that. COVID, funny enough, got some people doing appointments that used to clown us when we did it, but now they're forced to, and they're going to see that it's nice.
But you just kind of set your own schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. You have so much more freedom. So, but yeah, basically we were so full. We said only appointments. Well, then we got a lot of had some like comments and people coming in mad, and it's like, dude, I'm full all day. I hate it for you, but I don't know what, I literally had many moments like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, like, especially, and I could say that, like, I've texted you countless times, like, hey, man, I'm going to be in town, like, please tell me you have an open spot. And there's been times that you were like, man, I really don't.
Yeah.
And there's been some times you're like, man, yeah, come here, blah, blah, blah. But, like, and that's a good thing, but you just want to please your clients so much, you hate turning them away, and it's rough.
Well, yeah, in business in general, you said something earlier about somebody asking you about your book, and you said, yeah, I got them in the car. You have to have them in the car. How are you going to sell them?
Oh, absolutely.
It's the same thing. I need every client that we can to come in there, and if they leave, regardless of who they were going to, I'm missing a sale that we could have had, right?
Absolutely. And
it's not all about the sale, but yeah, they'll never come back. We just missed an opportunity to gain a client.
They'll tell their friends how bad of a time they had.
Yeah, exactly. So I just hate to do that. And a lot of times people are understanding, but sometimes they're not, man.
They're really not.
And we've had people what kind of shit is this? And like, listen, man, this is how we do it. Like, do you go to the movie theater and cuss at them because the movie don't start at the time you want it to start?
Yeah.
Like different things like that. And yeah, those people probably do that. But yeah. So anyway, we just had a rough time, man. So we've gone back to, I've added more chairs. All right, we got new guys. They can do walk-ins. And then they start to get busy. So, yeah, we're up to 9 chairs. Pretty busy. We pretty much don't take walk-ins. So, we're making an adjustment, adding a few more chairs. We're taking over next door and moving some of us over there and just filling it all up. Mm-hmm. And we'll have some guys that are hired to do walk-ins, which Derek is going to be one of those guys.
Yeah. See, I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't sure if I was able to say anything.
Well, but, unless he doesn't want it out, then yeah.
Oh, no. I just, I know that's not my business, so I wouldn't. But, no, that's dope. And, like I said earlier when we were chatting before we got started, Derek's, my number one dude, my number one best friend. So for him to go after something so crazy, to him, something that probably never would have ever happened. He's always told me that he wanted to cut hair and he always wanted to work at Klutch.
And that's what's up.
And I was like, you know me, I was like, bro, so like go do it. Like
Yeah.
don't talk about it, be about it. And I was like, Sean's a homie. Like if you really need that much of an in, like I can introduce you.
Didn't even have to use it.
Yeah,
but,
he didn't have to use it at all. But I was like, bro, like Sean isn't a dude that just cuts my hair. Like we're homies. Like I can help you out there. Like go to school and like just go do it. And so for that to happen, him dream of that, and then not only for my best friend to go after something that he wanted to do, but also work for a dude that I know is a solid ass dude whose shop is very successful. And that's, I mean, you just can't lie. Like numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So that's just me. I mean, it is very successful. And I mean, I know that it took a lot to get everything started.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll say this, you can go do it however you want to do as a barber or in general, but I like to think that, I was limited as I came up to trying to do different things. And one thing I never want to do is limit any of my guys from doing, Tim just bought a massage thing for his hand and he's doing hot towels and like face, you get like a facial basically in this massager thing. It's unreal.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, but it's not something that's done, but he wants to do it. It's a VIP service and I told him to do it. I want my guys to be able to do it their way. Mm-hmm. Same way as we talked about being comfortable and whatever. But if you want to cut hair, you only want to do women's hair, hey, have at it. Like if that works for you. After talking to you earlier, after meeting Derek, those are the type of people I want in the shop. People that, have the passion, are willing to put the work in. I can teach you how to cut hair. I can teach you everything I know, but I can't make you show up to work on time or be a good person or try hard or, any of those things. You can't teach that.
What is going to help this business stay successful?
Absolutely.
Especially with the increasing demand. Like, I haven't been in there. It was after Romp last year that he trimmed my hair. I think it was for a homie of mine's wedding. I'm not sure. So, like, even then, like, I mean, I watched, the people fill up the place. But I couldn't even imagine it now with you having 9 chairs.
So, yeah, I guess we wouldn't have quite had 9 if you came then. Tim's been there about a year, so we're close to that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it might have been that full, but yeah, it's just crazy. We're maxed out. I'm like, do I get rid of the Coke machine and put another barber? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Do you still have the tank?
The fish tank?
Yeah.
No, I don't. That was one of the things.
You just had to.
It was pretty to look at, and it cost me money. Or I could put a barber in who can make money and help add to the shop.
And save you money.
Yeah.
Like.
So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's like, do I want to start busting out walls again? So, fortunately, the salon opened up, so we have the side next door to expand to.
Yeah. So, what do you mean the salon?
Yeah, so Kinsley was working with us, Kinsley Goddard. Mm-hmm. She started in a room in the back of Klutch. The space next door came available. She had kind of wanted to open her own salon. And so, I said, hey, look, like, if you want to go for it, we're right next door. And we can do it. Like, we can just put Klutch up top and you can be next door. Kind of get, I've done 3 years of it, so I can help you get started.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do your thing and then, go with it where you want. So recently she was offered to take over a place fully, basically like taking over a Klutch. Mm-hmm. Pretty full staff, buildings there, names, it's been there a while, staff, equipment, all of that. She just went over there and took it over. And she was maxed out already too. So it allowed her to have more room and then gave us more room to expand the barbershop. Perfect timing.
And one thing I like about that is, like, I know Kinsley. Me and Kinsley used to go to school together before I switched to Apollo. So we went to, like, middle school, 5-6 Center, and everything together. I've always liked Kinsley. She's super nice, super sweet, very talented. I see a lot of her posts, like, on Facebook and everything. She's very talented. I like the work that she does for her clientele. But one thing I like about it is that, like, and I mean, this is one of the main reasons that we're even friends, is that, like, you were like, do it. Like, just go for it. That's
the key, right? I mean, if you look around, I mean, most of the stuff, the people that are doing these things, whatever it is that maybe you want to do, the people that are doing it just started one day. We talked about you earlier, like you thought about doing a podcast. I don't know if we ever talked about it before you decided to do it, but if you asked, I would have told you to do it. Absolutely. And here we are sitting here with it. So the difference between people doing it and you not doing it is that they're doing it. I mean, you just have to start. You just have to buy the mics, or you have to get the camera, or whatever you're chasing after.
Absolutely.
Pick up the piece of paper and pencil and start writing or drawing or whatever it is. I'm obviously in the artistic, so are you. So that's where my, for people to create, that's where my mind goes. But yeah, go after it. You need to go to the gym and lose weight. Like, get up, go to the gym and do it. And it's easier said than done for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. But, it's hard to get to that point to where you're like, I'm gonna do it. Like, and then be like I'm doing it tomorrow. Like, I'm not just saying it, I'm gonna do it. It's very hard to get to that point because, the fear of failure is definitely rough, but even if you do fail, like, oh well.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah. I think it's half fear of failure. But I think for most people, it's just, you get comfortable where you're at. I've done it multiple times. I've just sat in the same spot for 3 years, didn't do anything to better myself. Wasn't, just making no moves, just sitting. And everybody does it. And some people do it for longer than others. Some people never stop moving. Mm-hmm. But, just that comfort, you get comfortable with where you're at. And anything outside of that, it's hard. It's an adjustment, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You got to change something. You got to get up earlier. You got to do something different. So that's the hard step. But once you get going, man, and you start seeing some reward, it's just crazy.
Oh, dude, like, that's so true. Like, what month are we in? We're towards the end of July, right?
Yeah, it's almost over.
So I want to say March of 2019, April of 2019, I played in a volleyball tournament in Lexington. And I was playing, and I was just like, man, I'm not, like, I don't know what it is. I'm not jumping as well. I'm not, hitting as hard, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to the gym. Like, I'm starting to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Sunday. I played in a whole volleyball tournament. And I think I was reffing at the time, too. Reffing high school volleyball. So, like, I would have to go to work, go ref, and then by the time I'd get home, it'd be sometimes 9 to 12 o'clock.
Yeah, late.
So I had to start waking up early. And I am not an early bird at all. So, man, I started going to the gym, like, it wasn't 5 times a week, but it was like 3 times, sometimes 4 times a week. I'd be too tired to get in there every day. And bro, like, now, like, I go to the gym 6 times a week now.
Yep.
Like,
it's easy now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like, I go to work, and as soon as I get off work, I go straight to the gym. And I love it, bro. Like, it's probably an addiction, I would say. Like, yeah. I love going to the gym.
Well, it's the same thing on a different level.
Oh,
you're comfortable going to the gym 6 days a week. It feels natural. Like, that's where you're at. So that's just what you do. Matter of fact, if you probably missed one and you couldn't help it, you'd be like, ugh.
Oh, dude,
like,
pissed.
I'm uncomfortable right now because I'm not doing my regular. This is what I do. I go to the gym 6 days a week.
Yeah, and dude, like, super pissed. Like, yeah. I couldn't tell you the last day that I missed. Like, sometimes I don't go on Sunday. Sometimes I'll go in there just to, like, play some basketball or just do something a little light just to get out of the house. But, I take Sundays off. But, yeah, if I miss, like, especially, like, a Monday through Friday, I'll probably miss a Saturday here or two every once in a while. But, if I miss, like, a Monday through Friday, I'm definitely pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be real mad. Because, like, that pump is just, like, my way of getting everything out, like, that's happened throughout the day or, like, the night before. And I just put my headphones in for the most part. And, I'm in my own world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm jamming out. I'm basically moshing in the gym. Like, not even gonna lie. Like, headbanging so heavy. And I don't give a fuck. Because everybody's there to work out.
Yep.
I'm not there to compete with anybody. The only person I'm competing with is the man in the mirror. I'm just trying to get a better me. If I'm gonna work out, why wouldn't I want to be the best person I can be while working out?
For sure.
And like you were saying, I saw that progress. And once I saw that progress, it was a wrap. Like, I started going more. So I saw that progress, and I was going 3 times, 4 times a week. I started going 6 times a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's back to the same topic. Is like, why do most people stop going to the gym? Mm-hmm. They don't see progress fast enough. Why do people stop, trying to do whatever it is that, I got this new idea, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't seem, almost the next day, if people are like, I don't think it's going to work, mm-hmm. They're done. And, stuff takes a lot longer than that. And that's, call it what you want, fate, whatever. Maybe it's just a challenge to see if you're willing to put the work in enough.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you really show that you're, really committed and you're really willing to change or go to the gym, I'm really going to get up every day and go. Then here comes the rewards. And it's like more than you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, touching base on that, I know here recently, I'm not going to touch base on it too much, but I know here recently you've gotten some pretty dope shit that's happened to you. Um, so, and I mean, that's after, I think we had this chat before we got started, 6 years of cutting hair, right?
Yeah, 6 years of cutting hair.
And how long has Clutch been open?
4 years.
4 years. And I mean, like, it's booming. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took a little bit of time, even at headquarters, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was balanced with the amount of work I was putting in. I was doing a little extra. I mean, I was studying this when I was off. I was, going to work early every day, leaving last. I mean, I really was doing it. And so it started to come back quicker than, if I was just showing up half the time or, not really going after it. So, 6 months, I was starting to get a flow at headquarters. But that's 6 months. But some people, it might take 2 years to get there. Well, they're probably not going as hard as they need to be to get the quicker return. So yeah, I mean, it took me a little bit of time, and each tier I would get, all right, now I'm busy. Well, now what? Well, now I need to open a shop. So then that was a jump. And guess what? Like I said, those months with Marcus and Jamin, I remember literally I got a picture on my phone of Jamin playing, I think he was playing Madden. And like that's what we did for like 3-4 weeks.
Oh,
like,
dude, I remember
somebody go get food. Yeah. So we were chilling. I mean, we weren't busy. It was like, oh, is this gonna work? And I couldn't quit, but what if we had quit then?
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
If we were not doing anything, 1 or 2 a day total for all of us.
Yeah, dude,
I mean,
that's
crazy.
Insane. So you opened up Clutch 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
All right. What was the moment you was like, all right, I'm opening a shop?
It was kind of just a big combined process of, I was growing. Like I said, I was really watching social media. I saw what they were doing in LA and Chicago, and I see these barbers like really doing cool stuff. They're traveling. There's just a lot more to it than what I experienced through these years of my life of, only knowing a couple barbershops in Owensboro, Kentucky. And so I'm like, man, like these guys are doing, there's a TV show, they're cutting hair, like just all kind of crazy stuff. And so I really start to look at that, and I'm learning the new techniques, and I'm buying the new clippers, and I'm branding myself, and I had t-shirts, and I just outgrew where I was at. And it wasn't a bad thing. I worked my way up. I got busy. It was a great spot for me to start, but I just really without owning it, I couldn't really take it where I wanted to take it.
Yeah.
Without, I respect Lionel that owned the shop. If he didn't want me working there late, I don't even remember why it really was, but just some examples, if he said, hey, I don't want you up here on Sundays, I didn't go on Sundays. But that limited me to really have the freedom I wanted. Mm-hmm. And so it just came a time that it was like, all right, if I really want to be able to, now I can go up to the shop Sunday at 2:00 and record a video if I want to, or whatever. I'm not saying he wouldn't have let me, but there just was this freedom I needed if I really wanted to go beyond where I was. That's basically all it was. I was limited to where I was, and I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep pushing. And then a couple of my friends were like, same way I got into it. They saw me doing it, saw me enjoying it. Hey man, do you think I could do it? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, anybody can cut hair. You can learn how to do it. Now, I don't know how good you'll be or how far you'll take it, but anybody can do it. And so 3 of them actually started school. And really, the time of me really I was really being hindered at work. Not hindered. I hate to make it sound like that. It wasn't like that. Yeah. I was just ready to take off. I was like, all right, I'm ready to really go after this. They were about to get out of school, and they're like, where are we going to work? We didn't think this through. There's 3 of us. There's only 1 chair maybe at the spot I was at.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 3 chairs available in town. I'm like, well, I guess that's it. I guess I got to open a shop. I mean, that's just literally how it went down. One night we were sitting like this, I'm sure. Man, we're about to graduate, dude. And I didn't really think where I'm going to go. And you talk about opening a shop. All right, let's do it. And so that was it. And then I probably had 3 or 4 months to really start putting it all together. And we did it. It's crazy.
That is crazy, bro.
I never opened a business or anything like that. I just had to.
Did that terrify the shit out of you?
Kind of. I mean, like I said earlier, I actually asked my dad this one time about, he does counseling. He talks about temperament, just how everybody's different, how you're uniquely different from me, and my tendencies of how I react to people or tasks or whatever. And I said, man, I really don't want this to sound, conceited or anything. I said, but I tend to do well whatever I try to do. All my little hobbies I've had throughout these years, then cutting hair, I always do pretty well at it. I always figure it out. He's like, well, you don't think of the alternative. Your temperament says, I will figure it out. Or it's something that you won't try, like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that I could do it. It was a matter of how and what resources do I have to figure these things out, which I end up, being a barber is great for having different resources and knowing different people.
Oh yeah.
So I had contacts that knew where to get this thing or who to call to do the drywall or who to do, so it really was made easy. I just really kind of confidently went after it, like, no, it has to work. So it's going to work. So there was times I was up there like, dude, this is kind of crazy. Like we were busting walls out with sledgehammers. I never done any construction. And it was crazy. But, I think we spent 4 months building it, opened, and it was a process. But obviously you can see today. So
that's fucking crazy, bro. Stupid fucking crazy. Just to, like, and I think we touched base on this while we were chatting earlier, is actually you had said it when we were talking about my homie. People are kind of like terrified by you. Just because of like they feel like like you're successful, you're good at what you do, and I mean basically what you said, anything that you like got a hobby in, you did it well. So I think that makes them kind of afraid,
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if I just carry myself or I've learned about myself lately that I can be critical of the way people do things because I tend to find the best way to do things. So I may say, hey, look, I mean, I already did it earlier. Hey, I can probably get you a software that'll do this better. But my problem in that situation would be that if you don't want to do it, I would make a point to tell you why your way wasn't going to be as good.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I have that tendency. And so yeah, I think it kind of goes with the way I carry myself is I do it well. Like when I worked at Roadhouse, I remember somebody saying to somebody one time, I was scary. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm cool. Like I've been working here forever. I know everybody. Well, no, but I walk around like I know how everything's supposed to be done. I've been doing it. Like, so, and I learned now at this many years that probably the way I told people made them feel like, I guess I walked around like that.
It's
so it's
not
kind of
my
like,
way or the highway.
Yeah, not even that, but like I was just going to let you know, like, hey, this is like, you're doing that wrong, or you need to like, and I don't know. I hate to think of myself, but I'm cool to say that. So I think that put off a like intimidating, because now, like, you've known me. I don't know what you thought of me before you met me, but like, I'm cool if you stop and talk to me.
For sure. And you can talk about anything too.
Yeah, and I've definitely grown in that in the years. Like I said, being able to kind of admit that I've learned with a few close relationships over the years that there's times that I get to picking and I don't even realize I do it. So yeah, that's some growth, and I'm trying now to help without. Yeah, help without
like kind of being
like
critical.
take my advice if you want. Yeah, I'm here to give it, but what you do with it.
The thing is that like in your mindset, and I mean it is a good mindset. It's just some people could take it wrong. You're just wanting to help them.
Yeah,
like you see
absolutely.
Something.
Oh, it was absolutely always that.
You just see like they're doing something a certain type of way, and you were like, oh, I've done this a different way, and maybe it could help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all it was.
Yeah,
it was just coming off wrong.
I'm glad you said that because I'm explaining and I'm feeling like, man, I sound like an asshole. No, and you're right. Yeah, it was never intended. I mean, honestly, we talked about me getting married. I mean, that's what I learned from talking with her was, I know you think you're helping me by showing me this, but the way that you tell me makes it like I'm dumb and I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I never meant to sound like that. Yeah. I was trying to help.
Yeah,
well, that's like, not how
yeah. Speaking on that, you are engaged. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
I've known Leah for actually quite some time.
I know, that was exciting. When I don't remember when I would have mentioned you the first time, but she was like, I don't Blake. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Really? Like, yeah.
Yeah, like my dad coached her in high school. I mean, years and years ago.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. I've always been a Leah fan. She's a very down-to-earth, very nice person. Or at least on the outside. I don't know what it's like, being in a relationship with her. But I've always known her, like, just to be super nice. So that's what's up. Super, super happy, I guess you could say, for you guys.
Yeah, man, we're excited. It's a big step, Like it's not just about you anymore. You gotta change the way you say things. You gotta look at that, and do it as a team effort and get through it. And that's tough.
Yeah, is that like one of the toughest things you would say about at least like getting into that serious relationship like stages?
Yeah, I mean, I would say. I think the difference, and I hope I can live this, and that's the challenge, right? Is if I really want to make this work with her, I got to put her first. If she says, hey, you really make me mad when you do this, I probably should figure out how to not do it.
Yeah.
And being able to look at yourself, one of the hardest things I think people have a time doing is looking at themselves and saying, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I need to stop doing that. I need to stop making excuses. I need to start being on time. Like everybody wants to make a reason why it's not their fault or whatever it is. And so really being able to look at yourself and say, okay, if the way I say things, I mean, this is a true example. If the way I show her things makes her feel belittled or dumb, I have to figure out how to do that different. And I would say that most couples or just simply relationships or marriages that don't get through it. And I ain't no master, I'm telling you.
This is just what you.
This is what I am trying to do because I do believe that that's the difference, and that's the difference in everything we're talking about. If you can really keep it real with yourself, and like you said, like I need to get up and go to the gym, and it's that's a tough battle with yourself. We all like sleeping. Everybody likes sleeping. So yeah, making yourself do those hard things, dude. I'm telling you from experience, like to where I'm at today, a lot of it was decisions and making myself do the hard things.
Yeah.
It is. And that's growth. It's hard. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But where I'm sitting now, I would do it again and I would do it faster and wish I learned it earlier.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, but that's the key, right? Like that's the thing that, like we were talking earlier on a different situation. That's the initiation of it.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't go back and do it over.
You can't, yeah. But that's why we're doing stuff like this. Yeah. That's why I'm teaching on YouTube. That's why you're doing this podcast. Because if somebody hears this and says, man, you know, I've been wanting to do this, or man, you're right. I've been lying to myself for a year that so-and-so's, you know, this situation. Like that's the hardest things we deal with. And everybody deals with it at different places and different relationships and, you know, all kind of different things.
Yeah, different scenarios.
And I'm definitely not perfect of handling all of mine. But, you know, every day it's an attempt to, you know, go against those things. Don't let yourself make excuses. You know, listen to somebody when they tell you something and make those adjustments. And you'll really, you know, same as you talked about slow success, but once you start to see it, it's powerful. So, you know, if you can make those changes and make yourself get going, once you get going, man. Phew.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like to at least, like, I would say I pride myself on is that, like, the people I keep around me, like, me, like, we're not, like, great, like, the best of friends. But, like, I know if worse came to worse and I, like, for real needed something that you knew.
Yep.
Like, I know that I can holler at you, or if I had, like, an idea where it could benefit both of us, kind of like, you know, the podcast. Like, bro, you got back to me in, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there was no question. You're exactly right. Like, and you got to keep those type of people around you.
Just the people that are hungry, not only for themselves, but also to bring up the people that are around them, or make sure they're, you know, staying 10 toes down.
Yeah, I mean, I got so many good people around me that are doing well and they're excited, and I help them when I can, and they help me when they can, and like it's just fun, man. Everybody's living, they're doing what they want, they're winning, they're going after it. They're, you know, not many people can say that they're just like, this is, again, we talked about earlier, a lot of people, you know, not keeping it real. I never in my life sat and said to myself, man, like life is good, like I'm happy. And you know, probably a few years ago, I can't tell you the exact time, I remember driving in my car, like the windows are down, the temperature was nice, and I just thought, like, dude, I'm good. Like, this is, you know, I always had a bill that was behind, or you know, just all that kind of stuff that drags you down. And I remember thinking that, I'm like, dude, that's some real stuff, dude. People do not feel that on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I know exactly what you're talking about to an extent. It's just like, I've actually wrote a couple poems about that. You know, just that feeling where, you know, when it's nice outside, you have the windows down, your music is blasting.
Yeah, the right song.
Oh, dude, the right song. It doesn't matter what kind of genre the music is. And you're having, like, the time of your life. Like, you are in that moment alive. And you are loving that moment. And those are my favorite moments, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, I legitimately, I wrote a poem just the other day that I posted on my social media. That, you know, I believe the first lines were, you are the glimmer of hope in a decaying world, or something of the sort. And, you know, most people would read it and, you know, think it's about a love poem or whatever. Yeah. In actuality, a picture of my goddaughter sits on my dashboard, you know. And it was just like one of those moments. I was with a friend, we were driving, great temperature, you know, music's playing. And I just thought in that moment, like, this is me being happy, you know. And like, a lot of people don't take those moments in. They're, like, so lost into other things, or they're just so down. And I just remember being so alive in that moment and being happy and just thinking of the things that made me happy. You know, like, that moment I thought of my goddaughter and my godsons, you know, just everything that made me happy.
Yeah.
And so, like, I wanted to write about it just for, I mean, the reason that you're saying here is just wanting to relate to other people. I just want people to not only enjoy what they're doing, but also just, like, be the happiest that they can be doing it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that thought that day to me was that that's kind of weird. I just thought that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll use an example. Like, telling people that aren't your significant other or family that you love them has been turned into such a weird thing, right? Same topic as like, oh, I'm happy. I'm having a great day. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
awesome. Like, you're weird if you act like that, it seems like anymore, because, everybody's just so busy and down and stressed. And I mean, shoot, 2020, dude, it's crazy, right? So like, how can you still be happy
Yeah.
right now? Well, you can. Like,
Because all that thing is just, like, all that stuff is just not necessarily materialistic. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of it is. But also, like, the stuff that's keeping you down is also egotistic.
yeah,
It's more about, like, you, and in actuality, like, you forget, like, you are a living being in this earth. Like one of these days, like, it's gonna expire.
yeah,
You're not gonna get that day back. Kind of like what we was just saying earlier. You can't go back. That is the initiation. So, like you were saying, I wish I would have done it quicker or whatever. Like, that's just a thing. Like, you can't go back, but, like, you do need to take it, one day at a time, but also, like, stay on the path too. Like, just don't get so caught up in it that you're not enjoying yourself, you're not living, you know?
for
But
sure.
also just being peaceful with yourself and just, like, noticing the small things that do make you happy.
Man, I'll touch on that on something. I saw some on Netflix, Tony Robbins. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
He's extreme. He's a motivational, just an extreme guy, but he has these conferences. They're pretty wild. Most people would see this and be like, I ain't watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me. Dude, he'll call somebody out in the crowd. They'll talk about some craziness. He'll tell them straight to their face, like, you got to keep it real with yourself right now, da-da-da, and whatever. But anyway, he had a video on YouTube that popped up, and it said, this video will change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting there watching some random stuff. I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's see what he's talking about. And he said, listen, this is it. In every moment, like, you have a choice. So your mood throughout the day, what happens when you wake up, you spill something, whatever, you're running late, and you let that affect your whole day. Like, dude, you have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like that's so common. Like, so many of us have one little thing, and then we ruin our whole day. We're in a bad mood. Like, you literally have the choice to stay in that mood or stop and think to yourself, like, what do I want to do the rest of the day? Do I want to be in a, like, you really do. Like, it sounds stupid, but in a moment, like, if somebody makes you mad, if somebody says something that makes you mad, you have the choice to let that make you mad the rest of the day, or just, like, brush it off and move on.
Oh, absolutely.
You have the power. We just don't. Like, we don't use that. We just react to everything daily and just let it just bog us down. And, days just go by, and you, like you said, man, you're not living.
You were a server, right?
Yeah.
Like, I go through that, like, through serving, and I'm sure you did too. Like, you have your people that just don't tip, or, they tip like crap, even when you feel like you did a great job, And, I mean, I'm not going to get on the tip or don't tip scenario here, because that's not what this is for. But if you get tipped bad, I know plenty of people that I work with, they're like, you know what, fuck them. I can't believe that they did that, blah, 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 blah. And they're mad for the whole shift, bro. And then not only that, but they're affecting the rest of their money.
Yeah.
Because they're mad at the other people. They're like, oh, they're probably not even going to tip me. Yeah, you're right. They're probably not.
Because now you're mad and you're pouting around and you're killing yourself.
And I used to tell this girl that I worked with all the time, I'm like, that's just the name of the game, man. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like get back to it. Like, get another table, make it back up, and I just kind of.
That's like a prime example of really what I was saying. Like, you have the choice with that bad table to let it ruin your night and not make any money, or shrug it off and have a good night. And really, as a server, you can't afford not to shrug it off.
Yeah.
Right? So you're absolutely right. I did the same exact thing. I had to move on. I had to say, well, that's over. They stiffed me. On to the next one. Like, The only way I'm making money is if the rest of the night goes good. So that's over with. And it's the same thing.
And our brain is so hardwired that it's like a computer.
Yep.
We're, like, as a human, we're a program, I would say. Like, at least, like, you can think of it that way. You can rewire your brain if you really wanted to, man.
For sure. That's what we're doing. That's how you rewired to go to the gym, or
absolutely. Like you said, you can make that choice instead of even having that negative thought. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've spilled something or, like, hit my head or something, and I got furious.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so pissed. I'm punching shit. Now I spill something, I'm like, huh, that sucks. Might as well clean it up.
Yeah, clean it up and move on because
Yeah.
don't waste no time. I mean, that's the only option here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So, I mean, you can, like, if you make that choice so many times, like, that thought just doesn't even, like, come about anymore. It just becomes, like, a routine,
for sure.
you know? So you spill something every time, like, oh, well, I have kids, I'm sure you did too when you were serving, kids spill their drink.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, their parents lose it. Absolutely lose it. And I feel bad for that kid because they're a child.
Yeah.
They may have made a mistake, but they're a kid, so, like, I can tell usually when their parent, like, looks at them or whatever, even if they don't, I'm always like, man, we just made a mistake, didn't we? Ain't no big deal. We'll get it cleaned up, get it taken care of. Ain't nothing about it. Just try to make that kid feel a little better about
Yeah.
it. Because I feel like a lot of parents, at least doing the serving thing, I've seen a lot of parents, get onto their kid. They might even spank them because they spilled their drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, it's just a mistake, man. Like, it happens.
Yeah, just move on from it.
Yeah. And I mean, and from that moment on, if you really think about it, like, that's just like putting it into their head now, like, oh, I made a mistake. I got punished, so it's a bad thing.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And that's probably part of why people don't go try stuff, because your whole life you're like punished for not doing it right or, not making the right move.
Yeah. So you spoke earlier about, all this COVID stuff, with Klutch and everything being a business. What has that done for you guys? Like, what did you have to go through? How is it still affecting you? Just like the whole experience, really.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, really, the barber community as a whole has been a little frustrated. And, I don't want to get into, gosh, there's so many different beliefs. But we're trained professionally. We're forced to go to school for 1,500 hours, which is like double an EMT, four times the police officer training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that we know sanitation. I learned bones and muscles and nerves and veins and anatomy, sanitation. I mean, we learn viruses, bacteria, like we learn all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm closing first. I mean, day one of anything closing, barbershops are closed.
Yeah.
Well, heck, let me put my mask on like I can do now.
Yeah.
And we're trained, man. I already wear gloves. I already clean my stuff. Like, we're good.
Sanitized. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything's already clean.
And so it's been frustrating as barbers are self-employed. Unemployment wasn't available at first. Of course,
Yeah.
they did take care of that. But, hey, y'all just stay home. Do what?
Yeah.
I own this business. Guess what? The rent's due.
Yeah.
The utilities are still coming in. The internet still has to be paid for. You're making me stay home. I'm trained. However you want me to do it, I'll do it. But I'm trained to take care of it. And so we've, as a whole, like I said, I know guys all across the country in different states going through it different ways.
Yeah.
And, everybody as a whole has been a little frustrated. Like, why do we pay for a state license to prove that we're sanitary and that we're doing it right? But then the state makes us not work. And not to go too much on that, because everybody's had their own. Some people aren't working, some people are. I would have loved to have worked, but, just the scary thing was, we don't pay into unemployment. So we didn't think we were getting any. We don't, we're self-employed. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. You don't have insurance. You don't have, any of the normal things. You don't get overtime. You don't clock in and out. Like, it has its benefits, but it also has its downfall.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, it was scary, man. I had some guys that never got unemployment the whole time.
And then you run into the problem that, like, people have families, they got mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Even just your mouth to feed alone in a situation like that is very terrifying.
For sure. I did okay. A couple of my guys had it a little worse that didn't get unemployment either consistently or at all. And yeah, we're also told not only that we can't close, but we're not allowed to cut. And this COVID or not, we're not allowed to cut outside of the shop. So you're telling me I paid 10 grand and went to school that long to be certified to do it in a clean, professional manner. But if I get caught cutting hair outside of the shop, it's like crazy fine and loss of license. I can't come over here and cut your hair. I can't cut my brother's hair at his house. Or like, what?
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot of regulations on that really made it hard. So then add COVID, my guys aren't even allowed to cut a few at the house or go to people's house in any type of manner. Of course, because we don't want to spread the virus, but how are they supposed to eat?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of my guys weren't at the point I was, where my debt was pretty much paid off and I was caught up and my fiance had a good job and she was still working. Some of them were struggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that just wasn't, to me, we made it through it. But as we look at potentially in the future, could have to shut down again. Yeah. It's like, dude, I really don't, that's one of the most uneasy things I've had to deal with my whole life if that happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's going to pan out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not a scientist. I do believe in science, You can't argue with numbers. You can't argue with scientific data, and the only way you can is by doing your own scientific data that is actually test proved. The whole was it the scientific method?
Yeah.
I'm not an epidemiologist. I don't know the answers. I don't have the answers. But I mean, it does. It kind of looks like it, man. As bad as I want to say, it kind of looks like it's heading back in that direction.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not taking a mask stance. If I have to go into a place and they require a mask, I'm going to wear one because it's not worth, it's not that big of a fucking deal. I have to wear one at work all day anyway. If I have to go to the gas station or Walmart for 15, 20 minutes, that's not anything extra.
Yep.
If it does, help stop the transmission of disease, even 30%, small percentage. I mean, I think I actually made a status about this one day. You should look at the mass situation as you do religion. Even if you're wrong, then oh well.
Yep.
What harm has it done to you?
Yeah, I'm a law-abiding citizen. If that's what I'm supposed to do, I can do it. My whole concern with the whole thing is just that I don't feel like I'm informed on what is accurate.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't like that. I've never really felt like that. I've just usually trusted most people. In general, it's never been this two-sided, right? Mm-hmm. With the mask, with the virus, with all of it. And so, for the most part of my life, I always just I never had to deal with much of that. Never had a stance on anything that was so divided.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, like you can find whatever you want to prove whatever point you're trying to make. So people can argue all day with plenty of sources, but nobody knows what really any of it 100% is accurately.
Yeah, not only that, but like it's such a disease that like even the people that are studying it still have no idea.
Yeah, they still don't know.
So, like, how are you going to tell me? I understand that it's similar to the flu, but the bad thing is I've met people that have had COVID, or I've known people that like shared their story on Facebook or whatever. Some people, had a mild inconvenience. Other people felt like they were on their deathbed.
Yep. Or died.
Oh, yeah, or died. Multiple people have died, and I think that number is skewed, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
Like you said, I just want the truth.
Yeah, I just want to know. If I need to close my business and literally stay in my house for 2 months, and you tell me that will take care of it, I'll do it.
Oh, absolutely.
But somebody tell me this is 100% what's going on, and the whole country agrees. Let's go. I think everybody would like that.
Yeah.
I think everybody would love a message that says, here is 100% what's going on. We do this, and we don't have that, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's just not very clear. I just hate it, man. All you hear, everybody, one person feels this way, one feels the other way. Masks are stupid. Just wear it. I agree. Just wear it. Even if I think it's stupid. Like, it's just nuts, man. It's
so decisive, or so divisive.
Yeah.
It's making so many people that are just, on different sides, or even people that thought they were like in the middle of it, is just like dividing them too, and it's just making people, I'm not going to throw the word hate out there, but it's just making them.
I mean, yeah, they're getting a little crazy, man, getting hostile.
I saw a video of a dude walking into Walmart, and the guy was at the door just doing his job, man. And he was like, hey, man, do you have a mask? He was like, I'm not wearing a mask. And literally, like, pushing the worker out of his way. And
probably some 15-year-old kid that had to do that.
Young kid, yeah. And this dude was probably 40, 50 years old, Like, do you really have to be like that? Like, what's the point? Like, I understand you're upset, but, like, the man's just trying to do his job, you know?
It's been crazy, man, I think that's the problem, though, is that everybody feels strongly, but nobody really knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a mess.
Like, you don't work at a restaurant anymore, but I do. So now, the past 2 weeks, you have to have one coming in.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I've had to deal with people that are like, well, I can't believe blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, man, I'm just doing my job. I didn't put it into place. I'm just here telling you what I gotta do. And it's just ridiculous the way that people act.
For sure. Hopefully it'll clear up.
Man, I hope it
go
does.
away soon. It sounds good to go back to normal, doesn't it? Oh goodness.
Man. I gotta, like,
what is normal? Are we going to remember?
How long are we going to be wearing masks for?
Yeah.
Like you said, just want the truth, like you said. If I have to stay at home for 2 months and we can open everything back, but, just sit there for 2 months, nobody can really go out unless you really, really have to. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck, but if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
I mean, I pretty much did that. My 2 months was I didn't leave the house.
Oh, dude,
I really did.
We were closed.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't even go to the gym. Like, I understand it. I worked out here, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't do anything. I took a couple trips, but other than that, it was just, me really being here. What is next on the Klutch list? What is in the works?
Yeah, like I said, we're taking over next door. We're gonna add a few chairs. Those guys will be strictly for walk-ins. In the future, if I'm gonna adjust. That's what I think we've shown. Depending on what comes, I'm going to adjust. And so we're going to have the walk-in guys. They're going to come in really to be walk-ins. And if they grow, we'll move up from there. But we're going to keep trying to take care of more people and keep doing what we do. And I'll figure it out as we go.
As I've, kind of stated like multiple times in this episode, that you guys are successful. You're a successful, businessman and everything. What does that mean to you?
I think success is more determined by really being where you want to be and doing something you want to do and enjoying, what we talked about, having a good time, not partying, having a good time. But how many people don't? A lot of people say they enjoy what they do, but do you really, or have you made it? It's doable. I have friends there. It's okay. It's not that hard. I don't work that many hours or whatever. Whatever makes it okay. It's the best job I've had.
Yeah.
The best job I've had. But if you could do anything, are you really having a good time doing what you're doing? And I feel like my success has come because it's obvious that I'm in the spot that I need to be in.
Absolutely.
And so that to me is success. Is finding your spot. Going after it. Putting in the best you can put, and you will find success in that.
Absolutely. I will say this, that my favorite musical artist, her name's Tash Sultana. You can actually see a couple of the posters on the wall if the lights were on. However, they're not. But my thing is, she just a quick backstory of hers is she had a really bad trip, a drug trip, and got bad into drugs and everything. And then she came out of that and was like that's not what I want to do. That's not for me anymore. It's not what I want to do. So she started playing music. And then so she's from Australia and she started busking the streets. And, she recorded these videos and put them on YouTube. They were I think it was live bedroom live recordings or something like that. And dude, they blew up in a matter of months.
That's awesome.
Dude, and now she sells out U.S. tours, all over the country. I've seen her twice in Nashville. Some of the best shows I've ever been to, man. But the thing about it, listening to her is cool. Her music is very good. She's very talented. But it's watching her. She is doing exactly what she was meant to do. For somebody to, and I mean, that's something that we kind of touch base up on that I'm a very big fan of, is somebody that was just just went through something and they were this is not me. This is not what I want to do. And they just built the ground up, and now she's doing what she loves to do. She's getting paid for it and she's literally having the time of her life.
Yeah, that's living.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's really living.
And I will say, watching her music videos and watching her play live, whether it be on a TV or being there in person, has pushed me to go and pursue the things that I want to do, on top of, having people like you and my other friends that are making sure I'm doing what I want to do, So those kind of people are my favorite kind of people. And that's basically what you're saying. You know what you wanted to do and you're in that situation now.
Absolutely.
With that being said, what was the first moment that you decided you wanted to cut hair?
Yeah, I had a coworker take me to his barber. And it's kind of just the right timing kind of thing. I was a restaurant manager. I had seen a couple of my bosses get fired. You'll feel me on this. Managers kind of, you work your way up best you can. Mm-hmm. There's only so many higher up jobs, so only certain guys get them. And then those guys get fired. But, a GM from one place will go to another place and be the AGM, or, that kind of stuff I saw going on.
Yeah.
And I saw my guys bouncing around and going to some places. And I worked at what I would call some of the best places in Owensboro. Mm-hmm. Texas Roadhouse, Buffalo Wild Wings. Some of the busiest, better places everybody goes to. And so I'm thinking do I want to go to some of these other places that are, do I want to work at Golden Corral or, Tumbleweed, it's closed. Do I want to go through that?
Yeah.
Do I want to switch jobs, get fired? I got fired from Roadhouse after 10 years. Craziness. Sure. Do I want to go through that and keep jumping from different restaurant? That's not really doing me. Yeah. Even though I was good at it. And at the same exact time, one of my cooks at B-Dubs told me, he's like, man, you need a cooler haircut. No offense, you're a cool dude, you got tattoos. You need a cool haircut. You should come to my barber. Mm-hmm. So I went with him. Long story short, started taking my friends, started being down there all the time, saw what he was doing. I could just tell that he was doing what we said. He was doing him where he was supposed to be. And I liked it. It went along with a lot of things that I'm into. And me being somebody that wants to look themselves, I just saw that he had that freedom. I was like, man, do you think I can do this? And I did it.
And I mean, I can't remember if we touched base on that, but that's kind of like how you got your friends into it, right? They were like,
same exact
do you
thing.
think I can do this?
Yeah, and they were restaurant guys. They saw the same thing. And, a lot of work around here is factory type work, stuff like that. Some of them have tried that kind of stuff, and we're all social. We're from the restaurant. Mm-hmm. We want that. We want to do people like a server. We're a server.
Yeah,
we just serve haircuts. Yeah. And so a lot of us had done that, and we were just that kind of person, but the restaurant just wasn't the avenue anymore. We were getting a little bit older. I didn't want to serve tables, too long. I had some coworkers over the years that were in their 50s serving tables. No offense, if they're doing good, I know you can make money.
Oh, absolutely.
I make good money, but I don't know. I wanted to find an avenue where I could be creative as well and be my own boss instead of working for somebody. Mm-hmm. Potentially get fired at any moment. I just wanted to make that for myself. I saw him doing it in his own shop, and I thought, man, that's where I need to be. My friends saw the same thing. Man, I don't know if I have a future in this. Can I cut hair? And we'll team up and go after it. And of course, that's what helped us as well.
Yeah.
Is being that we're all kind of, friends to begin with the same goals. So
that's what's up, though. And I mean, like what I was touching base on earlier, it's just nice to have like the people that are hungry around you.
Got to. Definitely helps.
Oh, absolutely.
It's hard to motivate yourself when it's just you.
And I don't know about you guys because, like, I wasn't in that situation. But, like, the people that I'm friends with that I keep close to me, like, it's really nice. Like, it's not a competition. Like, you're a team. Like, you're just trying to help each other be the best that you can be, collectively.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's in our industry, we would say, there's enough haircuts to go around, man. Like, why do I need to, like, not help you get better? There are people in the industry that don't want to teach you their tricks or secrets. Like you're going to take their business from them, you know? Or whatever. It's like, man, there's enough people to go around. What if we're all better? What if we all excel? Like, not even just my guys. What about barbers as a whole? Or, whatever industry you're in. What if everybody just continues to elevate what they're doing? Why can't we all do that?
Yeah.
I don't see why. Why do I have to win? You have to lose.
But so many people think like that, though.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You have so many people that are competitive or, competing with other people. Like, why? Why wouldn't you want to build with that person? They can help you and you can help them. And you're just going to learn and grow in the process.
Yeah, I think we're just taught that somewhere along the way, that you got to be the best. And not that it's a problem to be the best, but, it's just a competition everywhere. And so helping people in general is rare, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like I've learned that this fulfillment I get from helping people is like, talk about living. Like, man, the reward for helping somebody and them smiling is like, that's powerful, right? Or that type of thing is huge. Well, nobody wants to do that anymore. If I can help you succeed and I look over and know that even my encouragement or an idea helped you get to where you're at, dude, I'm stoked. That's what's up.
Oh, for sure.
Like, why can't we just do that?
And I mean, that kind of touched base on like what I was saying earlier about you is like, you was using that mindset when you was like, you wasn't noticing that you were like nitpicking. When you're like, oh, you should do it like this, blah, 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 blah. Like I was saying, that was your mindset. You were wanting to help that person.
For sure.
And I mean, but like we said, not many people were in that kind of mindset, which is a big problem. I feel like if people weren't competing with each other, like so many people would have risen to the things that they were trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Society today is, a lot of competition, a lot of judgment, a lot of, hate if you don't agree. And I, to be honest, and I think you'll agree, especially with the people we connect with, I see a lot of opposite of that on my social media nowadays.
Yeah.
I see a lot of stuff that like you'll share something or a lot of people talking about, hey man, like we're all the same, man. Let's just help each other. Let's be good to each other. Like, why is it so difficult? Like, there's a lot of that emerging right now and I dig it.
Like the self-love, and, like just helping everybody. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely coming because we're seeing an ugly time right now. And so I feel like it's coming around. Our generation's starting to bring that, I think.
Yeah, I think so,
we're trying to.
But then you have those people, which, I mean, there's always going to be, those people or whatever. But then you have the people that are sharing it just to, like, fit the mold.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
It's different in, talking it and walking it. So,
absolutely. But I 100% agree with you that people are definitely being, not only more self-aware, but they're also like realizing that they touch, everybody that they interact with. Like so earlier, like if you take that, I spilled the drink mindset and, you're mad at the world for the day and then you go and meet up with your friend and they're in a great mood and then you just ruin their day because you're down or whatever.
yeah, it can be a compound effect both ways. I tried to, I thought you were going to go to the headphones in the supermarket thing. I would not do that. Why? Because I'm going to interact with people the whole time I'm there.
Yeah.
I may not talk to everybody, but the cashier, I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to say how you doing and thank you and just if you do that everywhere, that why can't we? Why close up? Why go in there and be rude to that person or have your headphones in and not hear them and not speak to people or there's just different ways to do it. And I feel like one definitely it's going to be more satisfying to yourself and I definitely feel like a lot of my success comes from just trying to be good to people and everywhere I go around it. Not be the one with the headphones in, not talking to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of, touch base on something that we were talking about earlier, but kind of like feeding that cycle. You was talking about you and your wife, but, it's that way with everybody, If you saying, you go to the store and you buy something and you're like, thank you. I hope you have a nice day too. Thank you. That can make that person's day because they probably just had a terrible customer before you.
Yep.
And then, they go on, they have a person that's mad at their place and you're like, thank you. I hope you have a good day. And you could tell it in their voice that they're being serious. And that person's like, you know what? It just goes back and forth and back and forth. It can be a ripple effect.
For sure.
And I mean, I hate that some people don't notice that. But like you said, people are being more like that now since we're living in such a weird, terrible time, of things that we're not really getting to experience, I guess. It's a weird time, but yeah, I'm glad that people are being like more self-loving. Where Klutch is now, is it what you thought about like when you first started cutting? I meant to ask that earlier, but
yeah, I mean, I think I somewhat had that picture in my head. I at least had ideas that when you have to picture something in your head as you're planning this and whatever. Which I actually learned the other day that some people don't really have a inner dialogue and they don't think like that, which is crazy. Like they don't hear their own voice up there talking,
like a consciousness?
Yeah, like talking through stuff, which is nuts.
Bro,
I mean, not nuts. Like you're not crazy if you have that. I just can't believe that. But yeah, so I mean, I had as I would see something that I did. Oh, graffiti. Hey man, when I have my shop, like I have a picture on my phone still of this red graffiti I found one day, and I took that. I had pictured in my head what I was gonna do whenever I opened my shop. So the walls ended up what they look like. That idea that I had held in my head for 4 years. So absolutely, I had it pictured, and it just kind of manifested out as we started to do it. It's just all these ideas came together, and it was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting.
And picturing. I mean, I kind of expected that, especially with like not only knowing you, but just like even if I was like somebody listening to this podcast, just hearing some of the things that you're saying, like you saying that like the things that you're interested in, like you're going to do well in them. That's the only mindset that you're having. Yeah. It's not. I'm going to achieve it, instead of like...
Why have the failure in your head?
Yeah.
Why even think of that as an option?
Yeah.
Why do you want to even go there?
And
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't. If you wanted something to succeed, if you wanted it bad enough, it would, Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
Who is Sean when he's not cutting hair?
That's a tough one. I mean, to be totally honest right now, that's engulfing my life. And we mentioned I'm getting married, so, just to keep it real, and that's kind of what I'm wanting to bring here. That's kind of what we've been talking about is, I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good dad. We want to have kids.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I'm making a shift, and that's, I call it growing up or whatever you want to call it. I want to be the best me. I want to provide, so I want to set myself up. I'm working real hard right now on some more residual income, so I don't have to work 40 hours a week behind the chair. I can be flexible to do different things as my family develops.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to, I'm 33 now, just turned 33. And
happy late birthday.
Thank you. And so, yeah, I'm going to get married, man. We're going to try to have kids, and I want to be a good husband and run the shop and still have a good barbershop. And, I'm just trying to be the best me and be good to people around me and help everybody else succeed. And I'm stoked with where this went because it's, if you know me well, you get a little bit of this, I think, on the daily, but not this deep, not this much. This is really what I'm about, man. Just keeping it real and being the best version of yourself and trying to improve and, make those hard decisions and don't do those things that are easy to do. And man, it'll change your life.
Man, it really will. And I mean, I could say, like, for as long as I've known you, we've been friends. Like, you have always been, like, the same dude, always solid, keeping it real. Like, I remember I even came to you, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna, like, do a book. And you were like, I mean, I don't know much about that, but you're like, that's dope. And, like, I'll get a copy for sure.
For sure.
And you did. And, but, like, that's, like you said, that's always been you. You're just, like, a solid dude, basically.
I think a lot of people lack somebody to encourage them sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's all you need sometimes to do that next thing or to, as a barber, that's what I do, right? I sit there, I hear what you got going on, and I don't love anything more than like encouraging people or whatever they need, to boost them. And dude, that's my job.
And I mean, to be honest, if you're really thinking about it, like, especially if you're thinking about a guy coming to get a haircut, he's boosting his like self-image. Yeah, for sure. And he's like, oh dude, like this looks dope.
But it's even more powerful if I can boost your confidence and your mood on top of the haircut.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I like to think I do that. Do I always do that? I don't know. I'm sure I have my days or the conversation doesn't just go that way, or sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes you're good.
Yeah.
But I think that, I tell my guys, hey, don't ever underestimate like what you are to some of these clients. This might be their 45 minutes away from work chaos, home chaos, whatever. They can come in, just be by themselves, comfortably talk to me. It's I kind of treat it like lawyer-client privilege. It's the same thing. Like, I mean, I would share stuff that I know is cool, but I know some stuff and have had conversations with different clients, that's serious stuff. And they just needed somebody to tell and kind of give them some positivity. And that's what I do all day, man. So. And,
man, I'm not going to lie. I remember... I think it was 2016, I want to say. My grandmother died, and, that was kind of rough for me. I was at college, and it was, it was a rough situation. I dealt with those situations all my life, but just my grandmother was like kind of like my mom. But I remember, the funeral was coming up, and I was like, man, I need a haircut. And I came to you, and, we just sat there and we talked and everything like that. And I remember that being one of the like specific days of us like, just chilling, having a good time and everything like that. And I was like, not only do I look dope like with this haircut, but like it was like I just hung out with like a homie of mine, in one of the roughest times I've ever been through. So it was just like a different situation.
Yeah, like that was a little boost that helped you feel a little bit better in a rough time like that.
And man, I remember that like at that funeral, which is something I'm not like a public speaker. Like it doesn't bother me, but it's just not like something that I do. But I remember I wrote a poem about my grandmother and I read it at her funeral service and everything like that. And I mean, I'm sure like that had to give me some confidence, just like the conversation. I couldn't tell you what it was,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure just like being around somebody like you just like helped me go through that.
That's what's up. That's what I'm trying to bring. So that's awesome to hear that.
And I mean, that's who you've always been. Like for the people that don't know you, like I think they see your success, everything you're doing. They're like, oh shit, that's Sean. The dude at Klutch. Like that man's doing like all kinds of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And they forget that, like, yeah, you are Sean, but you're just Sean.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny you say that. I was always this is part of doing my marriage counseling and just kind of really diving deep into who we each are and how that's going to look. And yeah, I kind of learned that kind of part of my striving for success, looking different, it just kind of comes from growing up not being anybody. I moved schools. I was the new kid. I wasn't recognized. I wasn't noticed. So I'm not anybody special. I went to Apollo. Some people maybe went to Apollo and say, I don't remember you. Probably don't. I wasn't really, I didn't go to college. I went to community college in a small class and never did that. I just kind of just blended in and was doing my thing and just simply with a little bit of drive and a little bit of passion and just like, we said, just the decision to get out beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, on my YouTube every day, I got beginners and I'm like, listen, don't take this lightly when I tell you this. I was you. I was in barber school.
Mm-hmm.
I had cut my first head. It was bad. Like, we're the same. But I've just worked hard, done the tough things, and put the effort in, and it can take you a long way.
And, I mean, one thing that I do like about it is that, like, you know, you have people that are like, you know, you'll never be anything if you don't ever leave your hometown, which I'm not saying Owensboro's your hometown, but, you know,
More or less.
You didn't, like, it's not like you left and got this success. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been to, like, multiple places, you know, barber, like, cons or, you know, shows and everything like that. That's for sure. And that's where you gained a lot of your knowledge, I'm sure, to help you. But, like, you've done something, like, in the place that you mainly grew up in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here much over half my life now. So, yeah, I mean, I've lived here longer than anywhere else. And I think a lot of the success has come from all the people I've met through my 10 years at Roadhouse. And you have no idea how many clients are like Roadhouse people in some way or another. For real. Of the whole shop, really.
Yeah, and that's dope.
Yeah, so, I mean, I really think that over the years, meeting people, I've always been this way of, like, loving meeting people and just, you know, I've always known a lot of people everywhere. Wherever I go, I try to talk to people and just be nice and hold a conversation like we talked about at Kroger or whatever. I've always just known people everywhere like that. So definitely helped the success. Once it was like, oh, well, I'm going to go to this barbershop because I know who this guy is. And it's just blown us up.
Yeah, and I mean, for something like that, like, I just think that's insane, man. The fact that you've done, like, so much success just from the connections. And, like, to me, I don't get it. Just because we've known each other for a while. I've known you since, you know, pre-Klutch days. Not that great, but like even when Klutch just started. And then people were like you was talking about, like people approaching you like about a job. Like people were terrified. They're like, you know, like.
I gotta go over there and talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you want a job.
Yeah. Like, and like they're terrified to come talk to you. It's like, bro, like. It's just Sean. Like, that's, you know, I'm just me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just, like you were saying on the video, you know, I'm somebody that was where you're at. I just put the time and the effort in. That's really all it's about. It's not, I mean, yeah, it has to do with talent too, but it's also, like, you got to put the work in.
It's way more hard work than talent.
Oh, absolutely.
I never cut hair before in my life. I didn't know if I was going to be good at it. I would say I'm good at it because I tried to be good at it, more so than that I'm talented at it.
And I mean, you dove head first, right? You just went to barber school. You were just like, I'm going to barber school.
Yep, I quit my job. I was a manager, had a salary, doing pretty well for my age. I just quit, became a server. For the first time in my life, I was never a server, and just went for it. And that was the thing. I wanted to change. I knew the freedom that was going to come if I could persevere through that school.
Yeah.
And get there. And the opportunity I would have once I got that license really was like limitless, and I'm going through that right now.
Yeah, and that's just seeing where, you know, how somebody can take that energy and that effort and that motivation and dedication and just putting it in, and I mean, you can apply that to almost anything. You know, it's not just barbering, or for me, it's not just writing, you know, it's not just podcasting. Like, if you want to take something that you thoroughly feel like that's what you should be doing or something that brings you joy, like that's something you got to bring to the table. If it's not going to work if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it, but you know, again, it's a choice. I believe that if I want my marriage to work the best, then I have the choice to do the hard thing again. All the same thing.
Yeah.
Do the hard things. Admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Change something that I don't believe is wrong, but she does. You know, those type of things. That's the difference maker. It's really just kind of keeping it real, man. Just, you know, no, you don't have to make excuses. You don't have to be afraid of what people think. You don't have to do it for anybody else. You know, just do what you think's right. Be willing to hear, you know, criticisms and be willing to grow. And man, never know where you can end up.
Just like speaking quickly on that, you know, I think we had a conversation about that earlier, but like, you know, with me, you know, as a guy that writes poetry, it's not something that you hear very often. But, you know, I always hear, I mean, not just from guys, but just people in general, they're like, how do you like put your work out there? Like, how did you become so comfortable enough to start sharing what you want to do? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's not something that I think about. Like, I don't, like, if somebody doesn't like it, then they just don't like it. It's just not for them. But if somebody does like it, then they probably really like it because it's relatable. You know, so, and that's what, you know, I'm going for. And I kind of feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in anything you do, say you're, you know, a musician, a singer, you know, well, you know, I would love to sing, but somebody might not like it. Well, guess what? I can guarantee you that somebody is not going to like it. Guarantee. It's a guarantee. So how can you fear something that you know is going to happen? Mm-hmm. It's a guarantee. There's people that are going to walk up to your table at the open mic, and you're going to say, hey, you know, are you interested in the book? And they're going to say, no, your poetry is terrible. I'm never coming back. And they're going to leave, and you're going to say, all right, The
Yeah.
next person's going to buy a book. I mean, it's just, that's part of it. And so you just have to put it out there. So
Yeah.
if you live in the fear of that, you'll never do it. But that's just part of it. It's part of the grind.
Man, and I'm not gonna lie, like a bunch of my friends that I know that like will listen to this episode, have problems with that. And I mean, they'll openly tell you that. That's
Yeah.
not me dogging on them. But I mean, like, and I have a lot of friends that aren't like that. But I do have some friends that are like that. And I think coming from somebody like you who is successful, who has some clout around just like who you are just because of what you have done and, where you came from with it. I think that helps. And that's one of the main reasons, obviously, that, I wanted to have this conversation with you. And that's one of the main reasons you wanted to have the conversation, But I think it's like coming from somebody like you is going to help a lot of the people that listen to this to at least hopefully push past that gate.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, really, all of this newness, it's been about a year since I really, really went after it. And so before that, I mean, I was just a barber that opened a shop, and it was pretty big and pretty successful. And we haven't talked about a lot of the other stuff I'm doing, but I've started doing a lot more, and it's developing fast, and it's not comfortable for me yet.
Yeah.
And so for you to say it, in that type of way, even to me is like, well, man, I ain't nobody. You ain't gotta say all that. And that, kind of proves your point earlier. I'm just from Owensboro, Kentucky. I live same town all you guys do. I eat it, all the same places you do. I'm no different than anybody else that lives here.
Mm-hmm.
I just, chose to do all these things that we're talking about. And yeah, it's so new to me that I don't like, we talked earlier, I got that phone call, like it made me uncomfortable because these are great things, but they are growth and they are new and they are different, and that's scary.
Oh yeah, and that's
so
what's
that
making
keeps people
you uncomfortable.
Exactly. So it's great stuff, but for you to say, it's powerful to come on here and talk about these things with the success you've had. I still try, I still genuinely feel like, man, I'm just a dude in Owensboro, Kentucky, man. Like I'm sitting here with you just like we would have 4 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, to some people out there, like to you, like I get what you're saying. You're like,
Yeah.
Bro, I have so much more left to do. Like, and I 1000% believe that you do. I think that everybody that's on their grind, as much as you are, is definitely, they're like, I'm not done.
There's always
I'm not
more.
I'm not even close to being done. But I am changing, but, like I was talking about Derek, some people that are coming out of the barber school, they're wanting to do things similar to you. They're probably like, man, like, they probably couldn't even think of it. I couldn't think of opening my own shop.
For sure.
And stuff like that. So I think for, like, the people that are like that, or just, like, the people that are, like, even me, like, I can't believe you put that stuff out. Just, like, hearing that, helps somebody, like, maybe I can do this. They're doing, what they're wanting to do and enjoying themselves. Like, why can't I do that?
Yeah, and I hope that's what that brings. Like I said, it's the toughest thing is to just keep it real with yourself and say, I'm going to finally go after that or make that change that I've been wanting to do. And man, if you can do it, there's no telling where you can take that.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't thank you, like, enough for coming on here, man. Like, to you, it seems like, we are two friends hanging out, but I know that you're busy. I know that you have a busy fucking schedule, man. So for, to take the time out of your day, well, I guess this is nighttime,
Yeah,
but
it's late. It's past my bedtime.
Definitely late. But for you to come on here, with a busy lifetime, with a lady at home, you got, like you said, you got a phone call like that. That was pretty cool to experience with you. But you just got a lot of things that are going on that are great for you. It just means a lot to me that you would come here and just like spend this time. Let the people listen to what you're going through and how you got to where you are right now.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me. And like I said, when you asked me a year ago or whenever, I was down. I'd have done it 4 years ago. Was no question I'd come on here. And that's the thing, man. I just want to see everybody succeed. If that means me coming gives you another episode and that's all it is, then I got you, know. Yeah. Or if it helps somebody, then that's what's up. I love the fulfillment. One of the biggest things about what I'm doing right now is just teaching on YouTube. And the fulfillment I get from these guys that are like really, really learning and they're thankful and they comment paragraphs. Like, it's insane. And so I just really enjoy it. I like to, I've done a couple podcasts now. I do some YouTube videos, different things. I just love spreading knowledge and helping people. So if one statement on this whole thing helps somebody, then it was worth it.
Oh, it absolutely was worth it. And I know, just like people that, like I said, probably look at you and like, I wish I could do something like that. Or like, even if they're just holding that as like a model, not wanting to do everything like you, but they're like, I want to, become good at what I'm doing and open up my own shop too. Even if it helps that person, they just see your name and they click on it and be like, what does this guy have to say? Like if that's what this is for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to do, I mean, it can be with whatever you're talking about. We've touched on different things. It doesn't have to be your business. It doesn't have to be, I talked about my marriage. That's my goal right now.
Yeah.
Is to do my best at that. So whatever it is, if it can help inspire somebody, or, that's just really where I'm at right now. I'm trying to spread that to, my guys in the shop. It's like, hey, listen, everything you want, you're a choice away from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something you're doing that you need to stop, or something you need to be doing, and it's a choice, and you guys can get, you can get there.
And I mean, even if like somebody doesn't get anything out of this, I'm definitely going to get something out of this, because I mean, it's going to make me, want to dive deeper into podcasting and dive deeper into my poetry, and I mean, that I do coaching too, so like it's going to, just having somebody motivational around is just like not only for the listeners but also for me too.
Yeah, that's good.
But you said that you're doing the YouTube thing. Before we close everything up, you want to like let people know where they can find you at?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, YouTube at Sean Cuts Hair. YouTube Sean Cuts Hair as well. I just teach, most of it's barbering, how to do different product reviews and different. I'll do vlogs at different shows. But any of you guys that are curious, if you don't know who I am, or want to know anything more, I do have some other content, different. I got some motivational type stuff throughout some of the videos. Whatever, if you just want to go check it out, and on the Instagram, of course, different stuff from the shop. So if you're local and want to get a haircut, you should definitely come check it out. And this is what we do.
I mean, that's exactly. And for the people that are listening, I will, drop those links below in the description of the episode, because I definitely want you guys to check everything out that he's doing. Even if you're not thinking about, doing hair, even if you just want, become knowledgeable and everything, that way you can click those links, give him a follow, give him a subscribe on YouTube and everything like that. That would definitely help out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. Come on.
10K by the end of the year. Like, come on now. That means that, I'm just trying to get to 10K. No big deal.
We're trying to.
Yeah. And man, he said, no big deal. Fuck out of here. Well, if there's just like one thing that one or two things that you want these people to take away from this, what would that be?
Man, I mentioned tonight, it's going to sound silly, but it's a little quick one, a little silly ending, a little phrase. When I was in middle school choir, this is crazy that this popped back up. I'm not a singer. I don't know why I took choir. Maybe I had to take choir.
Yeah.
And I can remember like vividly this classroom, and my teacher, she had like George Washington style hair. Like it was long in the back, and it was like curled right here around her face, right? The bangs were curled up and the sides were curled right here, and then it was long. You know what I'm saying? Like the George Washington, like the frill with the long hair in the back. But she was my choir teacher. I didn't like singing, whatever, but for some reason I remember this. She had printed above her piano, it said Yogo Whippy, YOGOWYPI. And I remember her preaching this. You only get out what you put in. And for some reason, like literally a couple months ago, I'm doing a video and I'm just talking like this. I'm doing my voiceover, and I'm just talking about this type of stuff. And I said, guys, you only get out what you put in. And I was like, light bulb. I'm like, oh, how'd I this just popped back in my head. I haven't thought about that in what's middle school? About 20 years.
Shoo.
And this pops in my head. And so now I say it frequently. But that's like the key, right? Like you're going to get what you give.
Absolutely.
In everything. Whatever that means. It's that simple.
It is. Like, if you want to be happy, you have the choice to be happy.
Yep. If you want to go after it, you can have more. You can have more happiness. You can have more success. If you want to sit where you're at, you'll have what you got.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's okay sometimes.
If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do.
Everybody's, to each their own. But just everybody know that it's out there for the taking if you're willing to just, go after it.
Speak it into existence.
That's it.
Let it manifest. I'm really big into that. Honestly.
Yeah, I am too.
Like, I'm sure that's why we get along. It's just like if we want something done, we're just like we're gonna get it done. It could take a couple weeks. It could take a year. It's gonna get done no matter what.
I think people hear that and think we're talking like it's magic.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, but people like they can't just hear it for what it is, and it's pretty much as simple as if you have a goal and you set your mind to it, you're thinking I'm gonna do a podcast, and then you're thinking I'm gonna set it up like this, I'm gonna get some mics, you're picturing it in your head, and then you're working steps towards that, and then one day you go buy the microphones, and guess what? You're gonna buy the ones that look like what you had in mind that you were gonna use.
Yep.
And next thing you know, it is what you imagined. And so it's not magic. It's not a trick. It's just, people asked about my shop. You asked earlier. Yeah, it looked like what I envisioned because I went and worked for it and it fell together and ended up being like that.
Yeah.
Or at the time, I had an idea in my head that I would get a white BMW with neon yellow wheels. What did I end up with? A white BMW with neon yellow wheels. It wasn't magic. It was, I put it in my head. I saw a path to get there. I went after it. And next thing you know, here we are. And it's not magic. It's work, and it's but basically, law of attraction, manifesting, whatever. It's just whatever you're believing, whatever you're thinking on the daily. If you follow that path, that's where you'll end up.
Oh, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I really do. Like, I can't express how appreciative I am for you coming on here. Like, for real, this was a really nice talk. I think people are going to benefit from this a lot.
That's good. I hope they do.
I really do. He said that if he had one thing that you could take away from this was, what was it?
Yogo Whippy.
Yogo Whippy. You only get what you put into it?
You only get out what you put in.
Okay. So there you go, folks in all dimensions and universes tuning in. Yogo Whippy. Man, thanks again. I appreciate it. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem.
I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, hopefully we can get you back on here sometime, when things are getting a little bit faster paced, but also more settled down.
Yeah, we'll catch back up. You'll done a few, had some really cool people on here, and then I'll try to get some more knowledge and stuff to bring, and we'll come back and chop it up again.
I'm sure that's definitely something.
See where it's all developed.
Oh, absolutely. All right, man. Thanks again. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great one.